there's so many players, e-mobile players
Yes.
out there. I mean, are you the leading player?
I think for us, we're lucky to be part of Gojek, which is one of the largest applications in Indonesia, like we have over 100 million downloads. I think for us, I think what's really important is how do we become a growth partner for merchants? In terms of what we care about is actually how do we become the top of mind for our users from the morning all the way to the evening.
But the question is, has it become the payment of choice in Indonesia?
I think we've had a lot of adoption in Indonesia, and I think it's
Can you
really
give us
early
some
days.
numbers?
I think in terms of like numbers, like Gojek itself has about 100 million transactions in Indonesia, and about half of them are on GoPay, right? And I think in terms of products, right, we just recently launched offline, and that means that Gojek as an app can have GoPay to be accepted outside of the ecosystem in the Gojek app. So small street vendors to like restaurants like McDonald's can accept GoPay. And we've seen tremendous traction in the last few months. Like in the course of over 3 months, we had over 200,000 outlets accept GoPay.
Okay, you talk about transactions. In terms of market share, is there a sense of what market share you have right now and what are the goals going forward?
Oh, I think I'll let a third-party research firm talk about market share, right? I think like, for us, it's really, again, coming back to what we want to be. It's like we really want to focus on mind share. Like how do we, because Gojek as an app has commuting, it has lunch, it has kind of dinner, it has even like your bills, and GoPay hopes to extend that beyond the Gojek ecosystem into things where you do day to day, where you spend your time watching a movie or whatever you do in the small convenience store that you go next door.
When we were in Hanoi recently,
Yes.
we had Nadim Makrim, the founder of Gojek, launch Gojek in Vietnam. Does GoPay have similar ambitions? Is Vietnam also a market where you're intending to be in?
Yeah, I think we're very lucky to have been really successful in Indonesia, and I think what we'll do is the way that GoPay runs is we always focus on supporting Gojek. So wherever Gojek comes, we will support and ensure that it's a successful part of the ecosystem. Because I think what we learned is that the payment service that we provide really reduces friction for a lot of people that use the Gojek services. I think that's usually how we start.
So what are the ambitions in Vietnam, and how soon do you think you'll realize those targets?
Well, I think, I don't think I can share that publicly, but I think in terms of like what our goal in Vietnam is to definitely be the leading payments player in Vietnam as well.
What time frame?
I think in terms of time frame, generally we follow the Gojek launch. So we have Vietnam, we have Singapore coming up potentially, right? So I think that's a lot of growth that we expect in the next year.
Of course, when it comes to mobile wallet, there's also the issue of regulatory approval. I mean, what kind of environment are you looking at in the likes of Singapore, in the likes of Thailand, in the likes of the Philippines? Are you seeing any resistance?
So what we've seen is actually, I think usually the regulators and us have the same goal. I think every country wants to improve the prosperity of their citizens, right? And part of that is actually bringing financial inclusion and reducing friction. And I think what we've proven in Indonesia is actually we've been able to achieve both of those goals. I think we've reduced friction for people in the cities to kind of do their day-to-day lives, and we've also helped people in villages. We have about 2 million families that participate in this rural savings group, right? And I think that goal is generally something that we bring to each country, and we're very lucky to have regulators that have been cooperative with us throughout.
Acquisitions part of the plan for your expansion?
I think it's important for us to be present in each country. We always partner with local talent, local companies, and I think it's something that every country needs a license, right? And so in terms of regulation, we always seek to see which path is for us is the best for us to enter the country.
Just one follow-up question. I mean, earlier we talked about how there's so many players. Do you see consolidation within the industry? Maybe leaving behind 2-3 mega players?
That's an interesting question. And I think if you look at how markets evolve, right, I think there's generally a clear winner and like a number 2 and a number 3. I think in the beginning, I think the diversity of players will help bring a lot of services that are unique to each player. And I think what we hope is that the cohesiveness of our ecosystem, the diversity of products that we offer in Gojek will differentiate us from other players.